again, Miss Jersold here to teach lesson 2 of our week. So it is Tuesday if you're following along with the correct days. I don't really know if the days of the week matter that much anymore, but let's say it's Tuesday. Big complaint from last video is no one actually knows what my name is. So it is Miss Jersold. I'll put it here at the screen. I think it's Danish, or I've been told it's Danish for Smelly Fish Town. I don't know if that's accurate. Miss J is fine. Anyway, all right, so let's review the standard of the week again, which is compare and contrast details in literary and informational nonfiction texts. We talked about this a lot yesterday. We broke down almost every single word, so hopefully you're feeling a little more comfortable with what this means. Today we're actually going to apply this skill to a longer, bigger nonfiction text. Still pretty simple, but something that we all could use practice in every single grade across the board. To review, we had some vocabulary yesterday. Just real quick, lesson 2, we got to look at lesson 1. So nonfiction is what? Real. Fiction is fake. We're focusing on nonfiction, aka pieces of literature about real events, real people, and real situations. What exactly are we doing to them? We are comparing and contrasting them. And to review that, comparing is looking for similarities, contrasting is looking for differences. Details help us find these things. Good? Okay, you remember. Back to the materials. I'm pretty sure a lot of you, if there are a lot of you, are laying on your backs, looking at your phone, watching me talk. Go ahead and stand up and get some pen and paper. Hopefully the same notes that you're using last time could work for this time because we didn't really write all that much down. And go ahead and grab those. That's called wait time. Okay, you have your pen and pencil. We got a new vocabulary word coming your way. This is close reading. Close reading is thoughtful, critical analysis of a text that focuses on significant details or patterns in order to develop a deep, precise understanding of the text's form, craft, meanings, etc. It directs the reader's attention to the text itself. There is no little pencil on that, so you don't have to write it down. We're going to kind of break it up. So, for example, have you ever read an entire page and you know you read it and you kind of checked off, turned to the next one, and all of a sudden you're like, I have no idea what is going on. That happens all the time to me. If I'm thinking about something else while I'm reading, maybe I'm not paying close attention, maybe there's noise in the room. Regardless, sometimes we have to make a very conscious effort. We're thinking about it, we are deciding to do it, to read in a way that actually enables our understanding of the text. So, here we go. Close reading. Number 1, read the text slowly. I really respect slow readers. I think it's important to actually grasp each word. And note the pencil, you are writing this down. Number 2, circle words you aren't sure of. The text I'm going to give you today doesn't have too many words that are outside of our vocabulary level, but sometimes you're going to read text that has a lot. And it's important to use context clues to be able to distinguish what each one means. Number 3, annotate the text. Annotate is a word I use a lot. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but it basically means draw all over your paper. Underline, star, circle, arrow, all these things are really important to pick out details. Number 4, get the gist of the text. Gist means main idea. I'll give you that as a vocabulary word soon. And number 5, you should know it well enough to explain it to someone else. The best way to master something is to try to teach it yourself. So, I want you to be able, that was my dog snoring. I want you to be able to read a text in a way that you remember it, grasp it, and could actually teach it to somebody else. That could be as simple as explaining what happened, explaining the main idea, the main characters, the plot, but it is a crucial part of close reading. So we're going to go ahead and map out the schedule for this week while you finish writing that down. Yesterday was mostly introduction. We talked about what the standard is, what the words in the standard means, and what this week is going to be about. Today, Tuesday, we're going to talk about reading nonfiction for actual understanding, close reading. Tomorrow, Wednesday, I'd like to take some time to answer some questions about the text we read today, and then we're going to complete a Venn diagram with comparing and contrasting details within that text. Thursday, we want to make sure we got it, not just in one nonfiction article, but maybe we're going to look at 2 different types of genres, like poetry and nonfiction. And then Friday, we're going to practice writing it out. A lot of this skill of being able to maybe write an essay based on differences between 2 documents, that's something you're going to have to do, it's something you're going to have to use, and that'll stick with you throughout high school. So that is our weekly schedule. All right, what is this nonfiction article going to be about? Sharks. Here's a good shark joke for you. What do you get when you cross a shark with a snowman? Frostbite. If you thought that one was bad, here's another one. I can't stop listening to Sharkira, especially her hit single, Ships Don't Lie. That might be a little outdated. I don't think you guys like that. All right, sharks. Title of the article. It is sharks. Shout out to Gina Sodrowski. Sodrowski, maybe. Thank you so much for writing this article for us to enjoy. What do we do first with close reading? We read it slowly together. So follow along. I'm going to go ahead and read this out loud as you view the text on your screen. Did you know there are over 350 types of sharks? 2 of the most common are the great white shark and the hammerhead shark. These sharks, and all sharks, belong to a group of fish that do not have bones. Their skin is very rough. It is so rough, in fact, that it has been used as sandpaper. It's kind of gross. Sharks have the same senses that we have, but their senses of sight, smell, and hearing are much stronger than ours. The great white shark is at the top of the food chain once it becomes an adult. It often preys on sea mammals such as sea lions. As an adult, great white sharks can weigh in at more than 4,500 pounds. However, sharks do not start off at the top of the food chain. Baby sharks or pups must avoid other predators for the first years of life, including other great white sharks. Some pups do not live past a year because of the predators. The hammerhead shark is much different than the great white shark. For instance, its head is shaped like a rectangle, giving it its name. The shape of their head allows them to trap their favorite meal, stingrays. Their eyes are located on the sides of their head, which allow them to easily scan the ocean quicker than any other species of sharks can. Even though stingrays are their favorite meal, they also eat bony fish, crab, lobsters, and other sea creatures. These sharks only weigh in at about 500 pounds. These pups, just like the great white shark pups, have to worry about other predators when they are first born. Once they are adults, they do not have many predators. Many people are afraid of all types of sharks because of media surrounding shark attacks. While great white sharks have attacked people, the hammerhead is not known for its attacks on people. The hammerhead shark is dangerous, just like a great white shark, but not as aggressive. I do not know about you, but I sure don't want to ever have a close encounter with a shark. Let's revisit our list. What do we do first, now that we've read through this slowly? Number 2, circle words you aren't sure of. So let's look at that first 2 paragraphs. Are there any words that stick out to you that you are unsure of? I had a few. I highlighted them here. In the second paragraph, I went ahead and chose food chain, praise, pups, and predators. It's not that I've never seen these words before in my life, it's that I'm not 100% certain on their meaning. So let's look at the context clues. The great white shark is at the top of the food chain once it becomes an adult. We can tell by that sentence that being older and probably bigger puts you at the top of the food chain. The following sentence, it often preys on sea mammals such as sea lions. Predator, prey, they're going to have that similar prefix. So maybe we can deduct that when they get older, they become predators, they prey on smaller mammals, and that means it puts them at the top of a chain of different animals eating each other, right? Pups. There is a context clue that actually defines that word. It says baby sharks or pups must avoid other predators. Immediately, I know that pups means baby sharks. All right, number 3, annotate the text. What are we looking for in this text? What's this whole lesson about, this whole week about? It's comparing and contrasting similarities and differences. So with that in mind, I know that my annotations, my underlines, my stars, my circles, everything's going to be centered towards comparing and contrasting details, right? Things that show us the similarities between these 2 sharks and things that show us the differences. So here's a little shot of my underlined text from the second 2 paragraphs. I went ahead and I underlined, okay, hammerhead shark's head is shaped like a rectangle. That's different than the great white. The eyes are located on the sides of the head, which allows them to easily scan the ocean quicker than other species, aka great white shark, can. They are smaller. They only weigh in at about 500 pounds. They're also not known for the attacks on people, which the great white, unfortunately, has a super bad reputation, probably because of awesome movies like Jaws and just pop culture in general, and their affinity for potentially attacking humans. It is not as aggressive is my final underlined detail. That gives me 5 different differences that I know I can put in maybe a pretty Venn diagram tomorrow or in a nice paragraph explaining the similarities and differences between these 2 sharks. At this point, we are now on to number 4 and 5 of our list for our close reading skills. You have now circled words and annotated, which means you've probably read the text 3 times over. That leaves us with simply finding the gist of the text. Now the gist, and note the little pencil, so I'd like you to write this down on your list of vocabulary words, is the substance or essence of a text. It's the real point of action. I include it here because you're going to hear this word in many different ways. It might say main idea, it might say main point, it might say substance or essence, but it's all talking about the same thing. What is the big picture, right? So you should be able to deduct that the gist is the main idea of the text. You should know that at this point, and you should be able to explain what this text is about to a friend. You might not know every single detail between great white sharks and hammerhead sharks, but you could do an okay job talking about what you read. So this video is a little longer than last because we actually had to get into a real article that you might see when comparing and contrasting details in nonfiction text. If I say that one more time, my head is going to spin around and fall off. While I leave you, I want you to revisit your vocabulary. Right now we're up to 6 words. Fiction, nonfiction, compare and contrast, that's like one concept, details, close reading, and gist. All of these words should be on your notes. You should save them. You should keep the material we talked about today in the back of your mind so that tomorrow when we make a Venn diagram, it's all there for you and you've kept up. Thank you for tuning in again, and I will see you tomorrow. Stay safe, sleep well, have fun, enjoy your free time, and I hope you are happy and healthy. See you later.